Let's watch Josh Hawley cuck the Zuck.
Turn over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Zuckerberg, let me start with you. Did I hear you say in your opening statement that there's no link between mental health and social media use?
Senator, what I said is I think it's important to look at the science. I know people widely talk about this as if that is something that's already been proven, and I think that the bulk of the scientific evidence does not support that.
Well, really, let me just remind you of some of the science from your own company. Instagram studied the effect of your platform on teenagers. Let me just read you some quotes from the Wall Street Journal's report on this. Company researchers found that Instagram is harmful for a sizable percentage of teenagers, most notably teenage girls. Here's a quote from your own study. Quote, "We make body image issues worse for 1 in 3 teen girls." Here's another quote. "Teens blamed Instagram," this is your study, "for increases in the rate of anxiety and depression. This reaction was unprompted and consistent across all groups."
And so there you have it. Josh Hawley doing a great job of cucking the Zuckerberg. My God, how does this guy, who is such a robotic, emotionless, I didn't even want to say a human being because it would be an oxymoron, confused by all of this. How do you not know? They've done their own internal research on Facebook, Instagram, social media, what it does to young people, especially young girls. Many years ago, about 5 years ago, wrote my own book talking about the problems associated with social media and how it was going to be harmful to people because of this validation, constant cyberbullying, people online as a cult are just crowding, terrorizing other people because of their beliefs or causing people to feel dismissed or inadequate for things that they believe. It's just nonsense. And Facebook is the bastion of all that because then all people do is gang up on you. And if you don't believe what other common folk believe or what's not commonly understood to be right, true, fair, or equitable, everybody crowds in on you. And then the rest of all these dispositions, thoughts, and ideas are dismissed, which is exactly what's been going on social media. Let's get back to Josh Hawley. Let's watch him continue to bitch slap our boy Zuckerberg.
Ahead, while internally you know full well your product is a disaster for teenagers.
Senator,
and yet
that's
you
not
keep
true.
right on doing what you're doing. Right?
That's not true. That's not true.
Let me show you some other facts I know that you're familiar with. Wait a minute. That's not a question. That's not a question. Those are facts, Mr. Zuckerberg. That's not a question.
Those aren't facts.
Let me show you some more facts. Here's some information from a whistleblower who came before the Senate and testified under oath in public. He worked for you. He's a senior executive. Here's what he showed he found when he studied your products. So, for example, this is girls between the ages of 13 and 15 years old. 37% of them reported that they had been exposed to nudity on the platform unwanted in the last 7 days. 24% said that they had experienced unwanted sexual advances they'd been propositioned in the last 7 days. 17% said they had encountered self-harm content pushed at them in the last 7 days.
I gotta tell you, I absolutely believe that. I am constantly deleting things that are in, and I don't go onto Facebook all that much. I mean, I have to at times because of business. I'm getting messages because, sometimes my personal profile and our business profile, they're kind of inextricably linked, so I do get messages, and for the purposes of business, I have to answer them. But in some of these feeds, I'm getting things, and I'm not a prude whatsoever, but I'm constantly getting feeds about women, and, they're scantily clad, and their breasts are hanging out in my face, and I don't dislike those things, but I'm getting it constantly shoved down my throat. And even though I hit the report button and I hit dislike and block, you would think that the algorithms in Facebook that knows how to push things to me, because I'm 50, they want to give me testosterone replacement, they want me to get hair gray solution, they want me to get hair regrowth solution, they want me to get stuff to keep me as a manly man. So they're constantly pushing that information for me, to me, so they obviously know what they want to push in my direction. So if they are pushing things in my direction, then I'm hitting the block. Stop sending me this kind of stuff. I don't want to see this, sexual content. I don't want to see, this content that's, it's kind of despicable. I don't need to always see a half, scantily clad, dressed woman in my face. Don't object to it. Just don't want it. Not interested in it. So they know I don't like it. So it should be going into the algorithms that I'm blocking these various things that are showing up in my feed. So give me a break, Zuck.
Who did you fire?
I said you mischaracterized.
37% of teenage girls between 13 and 15 were exposed to unwanted nudity in a week on Instagram. You knew about it. Who did you fire?
Senator, this is why we're building all.
Who did you fire?
Tools. Senator, I don't think that's.
Who did you fire?
I'm not going to answer that. Because
you didn't fire anybody, right? You didn't take any significant
I don't think
action.
it's appropriate to talk about like
It's not
individual
appropriate.
HR decisions.
Do you know who's sitting behind you? You've got families from across the nation whose children are either severely harmed or gone, and you don't think it's appropriate to talk about steps that you took? The fact that you didn't fire a single person? Let me ask you this. Have you compensated any of the victims?
Sorry?
Have you compensated any of the victims? These girls, have you compensated them?
I don't believe so.
Why not? Don't you think they deserve some compensation for what your platform has done? Help
Senator,
with counseling services? Help with dealing with the issues that your service has caused?
Our job is to make sure that we build tools to help keep people safe.
Are you
across
going
our
to compensate
platform.
them?
Senator, our job and what we take seriously is making sure that we build industry-leading tools to find harmful
make
content,
money.
take it off the services,
To make money.
and to build tools that empower parents.
So you
that
didn't
help
take
work
any
with-
action. You didn't
That's
take
not
any
true,
action.
Senator.
You didn't fire anybody. You haven't
not true.
compensated a
That's
single
not-
victim.
that's
Let
not
me
what I
ask you
said.
this. Let me ask you this. There's families of victims here today. Have you apologized to the victims? Would you like to do so now?
Well-
They're here. You're on national television. Would you like now to apologize to the victims who have been harmed by your product? Show them the pictures. Would you like to apologize for what you've done to these good people?
I mean, are you listening to this guy? So robotic, and he just sounds like a Gen Z or a millennial. Like, this senator, we create tools to empower parents. Really, we know that social media, Facebook namely, was discontinuing giving full, flushed out information regarding vaccines or vaccine safety because the Biden administration was trying to promote taking vaccines, and they were completely removing anti-vaxxers or people who didn't believe in vaccines or people that were going against the social narrative for vaccines. So we know Facebook was removing that kind of stuff. We know Facebook was limiting content distribution about Russia, and Russia collusion, which I already went over a week ago or so, that the Mueller report completely discounted that there was any collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia during his election in 2016. So we know that they know how to be involved and to interfere and to suppress and limit distribution of certain content or ideology that goes against the left norm of wokeism that is pervasive throughout Facebook, but not in this case. Now it's on the parents to worry about what their children see on his platform that is sexually suggestive in nature. I didn't even show you Zuck's apology to the parents sitting behind him because it wasn't even worth your time listening to such a disingenuous, inauthentic apology. Let's finish this up.
Senator, I think I've already answered this. I mean, these
We'll
are
try
serious
this again.
issues.
Will you take personal responsibility?
Senator, I view my job and the job of our company as building the best tools that we can to keep our community safe.
Well, you're failing at that.
Well, Senator, we're doing an industry-leading effort. We build AI tools
nonsense. Your product is killing people. Will you personally commit to compensating the victims? You're a billionaire. Will you commit to compensating the victims? Will you set up a compensation fund
Senator,
with your money?
I think these are
With your money.
complicated- Senator, these are complicated
Yes, no,
issues.
that's not a complicated question, though. That's a
Senator,
yes or no.
this is-
Will you set up a victims' compensation fund with your money, the money you made on these families sitting behind you? Yes or no?
Senator, I don't think that that's my job is to
Sounds
make sure
like
that
a
we
no.
build good tools. My
Sounds
job
like a
is
no.
to make sure that
Your job is to be responsible for what your company has done. You've made billions of dollars on the people sitting behind them. You here? You've done nothing to help them. You've done nothing to compensate them. You've done nothing to put it right. You could do so here today, and you should. You should, Mr. Zuck.
I'll tell you who the tool is. He's the tool. And so here we go. We have Facebook that hides behind the protections of Section 230 of Title 47 that basically says that Facebook is just a content publisher and that not necessarily they promoting these ideas. They're just a publisher. Like, they like to say it's like the public square, the online interactive public square. But they hide behind these protections of Title 47, Section 230 of the United States Code, that they're not responsible for all these terrible things that go on. So Zuck gets to say, well, all these terrible things that happen are these body image issues, these mental health disorders, those people that have suicidal ideations or have taken their own lives as a consequence of things that have gone on, cyberbullying and the like on social media. He's totally protected. The best thing for him to do would have said, I'll put up my money until we find a good solution. I'll put $500 million into a fund to help for mental health for people that have been harmed or people that have been hurt by the services that we're providing as a public forum. We don't take responsibility for that, but in the interest of helping the public, because it is our platform, yeah, I'll get behind that. I'll take that challenge. Why couldn't Zuck have done that? Put up $500 million. He's wealthy enough to do it. One of the wealthiest guys on the damn planet. But no accountability for the Zuck. It's all about making that money, but wants to hide behind a little bit of the U.S. code so that he doesn't have to be responsible for a group that wants to constantly promote mis and disinformation as long as it serves the greater ends of whatever their own political beliefs, purposes, and ends, as long as those things are served. Zuck is good.